All right. We are about to get this rolling. Give us a couple minutes. We're wrapping up a pre-game discussion. But yeah, we'll get this started soon. All right, let's get this going. I don't know. I don't know if Kuth was gonna start up his stream yet, but yes, agreed. The important question is who would like to do the recap? for an inspiration. I get the inspiration. Okay, that's fine.
Still, coming back to the present world, or I guess you could say the Feywild, and instead of being in what's the word? Instead of having to go through the trials that Dale had sent us on the way to chasing after him, we just reappeared back in the dungeons of his house. And we were left with a certain moral quandary, which is, what the fuck are we going to do with this man? Niavara brought him back to life after killing him, but now there's the question of, well, what do we do about him? Niavara was of two minds of the situation, which is, number one, does anyone really have the right to kill someone? She doesn't really necessarily think that she has that authority, but she also grew up in Drow society where execution was in fact a punishment. And so she's left with the situation where she has all these people who were victims of this man that she feels a lot of sympathy for, and an extremely evil man. Versus her other party members, most of whom I should specify, Kozik, Zed, Cha, and Max. Well, Max wasn't there. Max had gone off to party by him. Fletcher had gone off to party by himself after. I forget the impetus of Fletcher leaving to start with.
I don't remember either.
We were in that corridor. Something happened. You're right, and they
Oh,
stormed off
Fletcher
with
was
their
upset with
crew
us
to
about
party.
something.
Right. I don't remember if we were like questioning them too much or
Yeah,
I
the
don't
feelings were
remember.
definitely hurt, and so they
It
were
was
like,
about
"I can
the
tell I'm
dragon. It
not
was about the
bothered here."
dragon.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
The argument was about the baby dragon. Niavara and Cha, who were not on the ship at the time, were both like, dude, what the fuck? Fletcher was clarifying to the party, well, hey, actually, I thought I was under attack. I thought there was something in the ship with me. I told it to come out several times, and then I set the ship on fire. Cha was merely reacting to what he had been able to see, which was taking open pleasure in setting the ship on fire, knowing that there had been something inside of
I
it.
believe there was an apology, right?
There
And
was
I
an
was like,
apology.
"I'm sorry if," and then the crew came out, and I was like, "And I do it again."
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
And so Fletcher, after feeling sort of attacked, I came out here to have a good time, and I'm feeling really attacked right now, said, I'm just gonna go have my own fucking party. Bye. You deal with the moral quandary of what to do with the evil man. Peace out. And so that left Raoul, who was exhausted and was like sitting on top of him, Niavara, Kozik, Zed, and Cha to deal with, well, what do we do now? Niavara was of the mind, like, let the mimics decide. Like, they're the ones that were most directly harmed by him. Kozik says something that severely incensed her, which is like, are they even really people? Can they really have that ability to make that decision? And considering what Niavara is, she was pissed.
That was intense too. We had a lot of intensity. It wasn't just with Max and everything. There was a lot of intensity in that last session.
And Niavara mentally, it's like the little Sims sign over her head, like the negative signs, like that indicated bad social interaction. Like, oh, I didn't like that. Okay. From there, Cha was of the opinion, like, well, actually, it's slightly more complicated with him. We can't just let him go, though. We should probably just sleep this off, and we can have this discussion tomorrow morning. Continue it. figure out what our next plan is. And Niavara is mostly on board with that. But was of the opinion, like, we can't just, like, leave him out in the open. We probably should, like, bind him up somewhere so that he can't get away. Because he's already clarified, and I do it again. Wouldn't you do it if you had the ability to change your life by killing a bunch of people?
Right.
I'm trying to think. I don't think Zed had necessarily a super strong opinion on what we did with Dale, other than he agreed that we couldn't let him go. Was I incorrect there, Zed? Did you have a stronger opinion about what to do with Dale?
Nope, that was perfectly right.
Okay. From there, Raoul, who's been exhausted, sort of is like, okay, fuck it. You guys have been arguing and arguing and arguing. We've said we're going to sleep like 5 times now, and then we've just gotten back to it. I'm going to deal with it myself. Niavara pieced it together instantly what he meant, because she's picked up the vibes of like, oh, this man is evil. He got left here for a reason. And Niavara might actually support that reason, but it's also not her business. However, because of that, she's like, okay, perfect. This removes my blood from my hands immediately. While also I get, the emotional catharsis of seeing someone who dealt with people like me in a particularly nasty way. I get to see some sort of justice in some capacity that Niavara is never going to get for her personal life, if that makes any sense. Which is why she was totally on board with this outcome. Maybe not in the way that it ended up happening, but, like, she was totally down to kill him. It took Kozik and Chaw, like, a couple seconds after to piece it together. And so we were all going upstairs. Zed throws him out. We're all a little bit sickened by the fact, like, it takes, like, 20 minutes and we hear the screaming and the flaying and the crunching. The general sounds of a really unpleasant death. And, not really ideal, all things considered. But unsettled, we return back to the party, the party downstairs. Max pieces together what it is that they've done. They're disgusted by what we have done with Dale. Express that to Kozik and to Zed. Like, bro, I thought I had a different read of you guys, but you just executed this man in cold blood. Debatable, but understood. We go to bed, we wake up, we're going to explore the house. We split up. Chaw requests Niavara to follow him in order to confront Max downstairs. I forget what the parties, like, any of the parties particularly found. I know that we were, like, discussing, like, what we had located in each of the things. Max's party found a particularly soft rug.
The softest.
Yes, that was become something of much devotion of his crewmates. Chaw casts Detect Thoughts on Fletcher, uncovers that they are masquerading as a man in order to chase after an individual in the astral sea. Which, this too is something very fun
Very
plotline.
romantic. Very
Extremely romantic. I'm there. Someday together we'll shine and all that. The love that dare not speak his name. I say that as a lesbian. However, very fun, very romantic, very interesting plot hooks. And then, totally understandably, when Chaw removes himself from Max's thoughts, they take great offense. Like, what the fuck are you doing in my brain? And was going to attack Chaw. Niavara backs Chaw because, she's known him longer and has a sense of loyalty, but also, understands that he's trying to be a good person. And that's something she low-key wants to protect. So, she's going to take his side. Tensions raised, they discuss back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Niavara doesn't really know what's going on. Max is violated. Raoul breaks the tension. but it feels like maybe there's going to be a furtherance of the discussion. Niavara doesn't really ask for details, and Cha doesn't offer them to her. Other than the fact that I think that Cha said that that Max is a woman. And Niavara's like, cool, I'll keep my mouth shut. I'm curious why she's doing it like this, but that's not my business. And from there, we got back to the party. Raoul was trying to be helpful. We decided it's morning now, and so we go out to the townspeople, and the people are super happy that we got rid of Dale. Kozik, who had been pretty upset with all of us for our actions in the cold, callous murder of Dale, took up his leadership role, made a speech to the people like, and we have freed you from this evil monster.
Oh, that was the best because he wasn't even there to fight it.
He wasn't. He's just taking the credit of
Oh,
it.
the best.
You know, I'm on the team. I get a ring when we win, you know.
Yeah.
I do
Totally.
believe
Good.
I do believe I called him out on not being there as well.
We were all like, dude, you didn't even want to kill this guy. You were just saying that these people didn't have the mental faculties to make a decision about justice regarding him.
They're you know, very you know, I don't know, it's like Star Trek. It's not humane reaction because they're not human and neither is Kozik, but they have feelings and stuff, and I appreciated that.
something demonic teddy bear.
Yeah, and there was something about the teddy bear that I still don't know anything
You
about.
pulled the teddy bear out in the middle of your speech to them and just started staring at it.
Well, he was
Well, I was
trying
gonna-
to give it to a little girl, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's right.
There was
That's
a little
right.
changeling mimic child that
It's
Niavara's
almost-
like eyes zoomed the fuck in on.
Who was
And was like,
almost
horrified
as
by
if
it.
it couldn't be given.
Ooh.
But with that, I believe we decided that we were going to head out of the town after Raoul got his armor dealt with, basically. And Shaw and I had discussed perhaps doing a little send-off for the sentimental items in the in Dale's house on account of the fact that they belong to people that were murdered. And, you know, could do with a little gentle repose / ritualistic ceremony send-off in acknowledgement of their loss, if that makes any sense. And I think that's roughly where we ended off. I might have missed something.
Oh, and we got a didn't we get a little
Oh yes,
very
a bag of
versatile-
holding.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
chest bag of
the
holding.
chest.
The mimic. Like many things in this town. I couldn't remember the exact prizes that we got. I'm very sorry. There was a lot of them.
We didn't ask the chest what its name is though.
We have not yet asked the chest what its name is yet. That is
Oh
correct.
yeah, and Zed totally put his hand in its mouth and pulled out gold, but totally hid it from the rest of us.
Oh yeah, he lied about it.
Which,
Yep.
you know, yeah. Respect.
Like, we definitely need more rules. Don't let Raoul sit on our prisoners. And don't let Zed get any treasure in front of us or otherwise, if we can help it.
I mean, Niavar has taken advantage of the fact that he's very attracted to treasure in the past. I think that's a funny thing.
Zed didn't say anything to me about giving all of the treasure away either.
We know. I don't know if he knew what you did with it, because I will say I was just about to bring
Yeah.
up the loot that Zed found when he was searching in the same room with Raoul was a really, really fancy pillow.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
do not
Like,
remember
everyone
basically
found shit.
any
and
of the loot.
Zed finds a fucking pillow. So we've got that.
Wow. Wow.
We also
I guess I didn't give all the treasure away. I just gave away what I was going to give to Max.
Zed definitely put that pillow in his pack. But we also all leveled up.
We did.
Yes.
Hooray.
Fuck!
Did I do that?
For Niavara, who didn't.
Right.
Huh?
Oh shit.
Right.
Did you level up?
Yeah, go for it, Niavara.
Ah,
Do
Ding.
it.
God, no, I'm not going to lie, Chiefs. I get up
I
pretty
didn't.
early in the morning, for work, so I was dropping off at the end there. I can just quickly do that.
Okay,
powers of the
so
importer.
just a little bit. If I can ask the DM to like just God mode for a minute, what would have happened if we had given the mimics a choice of what to do with Dale if he didn't have a magically imparted meat smell, and if we all walked out there together with him as a group and said, "Hey," and explained the situation, that he'd been possessed, that this wasn't actually the person controlling them, but was a person who made a really bad deal, and what do you want to do with him? What would have happened? I'm really curious.
The
I
same
was
thing,
interested
but
to see.
quicker.
Okay, they would have just eaten him.
Because
mean,
in,
how
in,
Right
many
in their
there.
minds, they don't care if he made a bad deal or not. The fact of the matter is, his
He hurt
deal
them.
affected them. His deal made them
Sure.
suffer for, you don't know, but who knows how long.
Right.
So for him to be
Long enough to where they were
alive,
starving.
yeah, for him to
They
be
were
alive
starving,
was
right.
almost an affront.
Got it. Okay.
Was where I was leaning because ugh.
So they would have
Yeah, Sean
been,
knew that capital punishment was totally possible. I was
yeah,
just
they
curious if
would
they
have
would.
been like demanding you hand him over so they can,
Right.
they probably would have done it quicker, but they they kind of want him to suffer the, how would I put it? So essentially they wanted him to suffer in a sense of what they did. Like they had to go starving for years. So for him to be eaten by this, to be eaten is almost poetic justice. And for them to eat him slowly.
Got it. Ugh. They made sure to do it slowly.
The voice of Theo Moonblade said, "Make this man smell like meat. He has to die."
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Well, not specifically Tio telling me, but if you recall back to when you caught the glimpse of the personality change, Cube said
Yeah.
you have this weird understanding that this is your job to take this guy out. Like this is something you were tasked to do to take this guy out. And I held on to that if the reason I made him smell like meat was I had a doubt that they weren't going to punish him and my job wouldn't be completed if he didn't die. So I was trying to sway the odds, if they were going to judge him, like let him live, maybe the smell of meat would be like enough to obscure their judgment. Because during that fight, when the personality shift happened, I was told that, like, for some reason, you feel like you have a contract to take this guy out. So,
So yeah,
So-
with that,
further motivations, I guess.
we pick up basically where we left off. To which it sounded like you guys had a plan to continue forward to Xarith.
So before we all disband, with the townspeople, Chaw definitely wanted to ask, what do you want your town to be called? Because they don't want to call it Dale.
You kind of got the general feeling that they need time to figure that out.
Okay, gotcha.
Because they're at this point their leadership just effectively got immediately dissolved, and prior to that you gathered they didn't really have any leadership other than Dale and his butler, so
We call it
They-
shopkeep.
they need time to figure that out.
Cubed, while we're in town, I want to resupply the party. Get us some, herbs, whatever, rations, whatever I can find in this town. I don't know how much stuff they have. is there a list I can look through items and then DM them to you and be like, is these things that I could get? And then
I mean, I guess.
before we head off
Well,
to
the question would
Xarith,
be just DM me what you were trying to get, and then I could tell you if they have it or not. Would be the more
okay.
efficient way.
And then the other thing, the Raymond specials that I was talking to you about. Would I be able to requisition any of that here?
Here, no.
Okay. Because I still want to do those. I just haven't, confirmed exactly which ones to do. So that gives me time for that. So I'm going to compile a list of party supplies that we need. Does anybody know anything specific that we should
Well,
get?
Silver to
funny, I
make
was
holy
actually
water.
I was thinking about this earlier today, just randomly popped in my head. But earlier, after we had left Grinstall, there was like an apothecary or something there, and we spoke with the shopkeep about bringing them materials for potions that I believe we gathered. We just never
Did.
went back to Grinstall. So is it
Correct.
possible to maybe find someone in town? We might. I mean, we don't have the same deal, so we might have to pay more, but that as far as supplies that we have, maybe add that to the list to see if we can
Fixing my limiter.
get some more
My
potions.
internet may be dying. Google's taking forever to load for some reason.
I don't remember what those materials were though. It was like a couple different flowers and like maybe a mushroom or something like that.
That's right, which we found in that cave. We found
Right.
all of the ingredients.
Yeah, I remember that we found them, and then
Stop it.
part of our ever long journey of just trekking forward, we never went back.
Our first mission that we haven't fulfilled.
My limiter being so weird. What the hell? Sorry, I'm trying to
mean-
fix something.
Be able to, what's the word? Head back to Grunstall for our money.
We'll try that.
Zed, add your hammer back to your inventory. I'm deleting it
Oh.
from mine.
Okay.
If you took it out.
I don't even know if I removed it. So
If 1,000 years hasn't passed since we left the material plane, then
You
we
don't
do
know
have
that.
money waiting for us in Grenstall.
You're on these different planes that
It's
we've
gonna
been
be the
to.
apocalypse.
yeah, I was gonna say we'd come back. Grenstall's not even there.
It hasn't been created yet. Like what?
Oh,
geez.
back in time.
Oh,
That would be
nice.
awesome.
Oh, that'd be really funny, actually.
Who's that? Yeah, we meet our former selves. What?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
What was
Star Trek
the
moment.
yeah, it's
was
pretty
the-
early in the morning.
Who's the
little bits
mayor's
of
name in
fog
Grinstall?
has started rolling away. So it's not super early, but you get the feeling that there might be some sunlight pretty soon. You guys have been in Dale for a little bit. Yeah, you just completed a task that you set out to do. Let's see, at this point, what, a day and a half ago? But you completed.
The mayor the mayor of the Grenstall was named Green Steel Bottom.
Steel Bottom. I knew it was something because we kept joking about Deep Shaft and Steel Bottom.
Right.
I forgot about that. Okay.
Trying not to relive the trauma.
Okay, Chaw definitely wants to restock his rations because he is completely out now.
Well, while in Dale, unfortunately, they don't have any.
Got it.
At least at the moment.
So I think continuing with Chaw's plan, he's going to try to gather the whole crew together, including Max, if Max is willing to huddle up a bit. Shaw's going to just kind of, if he can, just take Alan and be like, "Hey, Raul, I want to play with Alan for a little bit." While Raul is getting his armor all situated and starting to get it worked on, he's going to try to gather everybody together, maybe inside Dale's shack or home.
So, are you saying this to Raoul?
Yeah, he's just like, "Hey, can I play with Alan?"
So he's like, like not frantically, but very hyper focused, writing notes down, and he just kind of looks up and he's like, "Oh, okay," like semi not even paying attention, but focused on what he's doing.
But at least well rested, not exhausted.
Yeah, that's why he's so focused on stuff, drawing blueprints or writing something in a notebook.
So Chog gathers up Alan in his arms and it's like, "Hey, buddy, want to take a walk?"
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he
And
still
so
sitting
he's
on the
gonna-
back of Mittens?
Yeah, Mittens is there. Alan is there. He's gonna kind of just quietly ask, kind of nudge his head toward the Dale's home for everybody to gather. He's gonna slowly go around, see if he can gather everybody in there.
So, does everybody gather?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I think I missed it. Did you say that it's morning still, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that'll be kind of doing, kind of morning stretch, whatever, and he'll just nod and
I'll add a
huddle up with the
morning
rest of the group.
fog.
Yeah, this is like after everything was gathered, the house was turned. Max's crew is like,
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
putting all
we
their
aren't
loot
just
together.
Okay.
Yeah, the detect thoughts and that whole interaction happened that Raul was a little part of. But then right after that, Raul said that he was going to get his armor, from that dinosaur hide fixed into armor. So while he's doing that, Chaw gets Alan and then gathers everybody up back into the house. And if everybody will join up, he's gonna kind of close the door, be like, "You guys, I think we need to do a little more housekeeping in our group. Alan, I definitely want your viewpoints on this, okay? So, what does everybody think about Raul's behavior as far as Dale, as far as, kind of knee-jerk reactions? Little chaotic, little intense? Worth discussing?
The justice.
How do you feel, Alan, you've known Raul longer than any of us. You noticed any changes that are interesting for you to note? Anything like that?
No.
Nothing at all, huh? Doesn't seem any different?
Nope. Is he different?
Well, we haven't known him that long. But seems like some changes, maybe.
Now that
Well-
you mention it, Mr. Cha,
A little reckless.
A lot of things change in here.
Here, you mean like this world?
Mhm.
Yeah, true. Go ahead, Kozik. You were saying?
I'm having a memory somewhere. I guess it was back in the cave before you guys killed the demon that was inhabiting Dale. I swear that I saw Raul transform into some sort of giant bird, more like a crow than or something, like a fell raven rather than a whatever he is now.
Okay, that wasn't a trick of the light then. I saw it too, Kozik.
he seemed to have a warrior's aspect.
Right. He was like a big crow. Totally changed color. His voice changed. You know anything about
So,
that, Alan?
No.
in disguise, or
Say again, Zed?
oh, is he in disguise, or
I don't know. That is another oddity. His behavior's been a little different. Now, granted, he's been exhausted. He's been schlepping around that big giant hide. You know, he chucked Dale to the mimics when the rest of us had decided to sit on him for a little bit longer. Um, just I'm not sure what's going on. Curious if any of you have any ideas, or I guess I'm a little worried that if we go into civilization of any form, that that level of chaotic knee-jerk reaction could get us all killed, or get him killed, or get us all landed in jail, etc. Just a little concerned.
I? That's definitely worth. Well, it's more than worth keeping an eye on him. I'm very. I'm, I'm confused about this whole transformation thing. And for whatever reason, it just popped in my head. Ha- have any of you ever seen, like, have you seen him molt or actually lose any of his feathers?
I don't think so.
I haven't really paid attention, honestly.
You said, he changed color, and I'm wondering if maybe, I'm not sure exactly how to do this without being a bit pervasive, but what if we can get one of his feathers
Oh,
and what if it changes colors, like back to its original form? Like if he's under some sort of spell or something like that, maybe if it detaches from him, might give us a clue as to, well, at least ask him about it.
if he would even know. If he has amnesia, or do you think he's deceiving us potentially?
It's hard to say. With all this been going on, it's been a bit of deception, I think recently. So might not be out of the question, but um,
Are we
but
sure
you're
it
right.
wasn't like just a spell? I
That's
mean,
what
I
I'm
could
thinking. It
turn
might
into
be some sort
Raul.
of he
Right.
might be
We
under a
can
spell.
we
Like,
can all turn in. Most of us can turn into Raul, but we've never seen him change like that. I mean,
well, like for instance, we were
it's
just
just an
dealing with
instant.
some with the spells, with the people of Dale. Like they were under a spell where they were very much more or less controlled. I'm sure that I'm not very keen on magic, but I'm sure that there's all sorts of spells out there that can do all sorts of things. That's definitely something to be, like you said, concerned about, Shaw.
I kind of like your plan. Um, so Alan, you've never seen Raul change colors or molt or anything like that? Seen
Alan
that?
shakes his head.
Never molted. I mean, do Arakokra people molt? I suppose if they're
I never met one outside of Raoul, but I've seen plenty of birds do it.
right.
I don't want to generalize there, though.
You know, it's crazy. We were fighting that Dale person, right? And he pledged himself to whoever, and he was no longer in control of his mind or his actions. And then Raul had a conversation, and they were talking about, I don't know, some I could barely hear. There was echoing through the cave, something about let's make a deal, blah blah blah. And then that's when Raul changed, right? You think there's a connection there?
Right. Yeah, why would he change right then? And it was only for like a flicker.
I wonder. I wonder if he's even aware that he changed. Because if he
Uh,
was, maybe it's either something he can control, or if he's if it's out of his control, but he's aware of it, maybe that unlocks some sort of memory of why it's happening.
It's
We should all
possessed.
definitely keep an eye on him and see if it happens again,
It could be possessed. That's a valid point.
right?
I mean, I think we've all noticed him get a little more intense and
As far as
aggressive.
possession, Neovor, we did get a bit of a holy water, right? Maybe you could
Yes.
splash a little bit on him or something like that. See if he reacts.
Sprinkle it in his coffee. Yeah.
Ooh, what's coffee?
Me.
It's like a hot, gross drink. It's made from beans.
Oh, sounds terrific.
I mean, I could certainly attempt such a feat, if that makes any sense. I don't know if necessarily it's going to turn out the way that we think it would. But I can definitely try.
Hey, Alan,
Well,
do you think you could
very
pluck a feather off of your buddy Raoul so we can check and see if there's anything wrong with him?
Okay. Alan runs. Alan like pats Mittens on the back and runs to the door and just kind of looks up at it and tries to jump up. Hold on.
Oh.
He manages to dangle onto the door handle for like 10 seconds.
Just 1 minute, Alan. And Chog goes and gently kind of holds him up and is like, just 1 second. That'll be after we finish our talk, okay?
So you're as you're saying this little squirrel is dangling off a doorknob and his head is like pointed towards you.
Oh my God, you're just adorable. Look at you. Ah. Only there was some technology where I could just freeze this moment in time and just carry it around with me or something.
Yep. His little squirrel tail's just like flicking back and forth.
Ah. I want to help you, but it's just too adorable. I'm just going to let you hang there for a minute. Okay, so a good discussion, everybody. Anything else you think about that?
Well, I'm not sure if it ties in really, but
Okay, break. And
has.
Chog,
Oh, sorry. He has been mentioning wanting to make armor. And
right?
and Kozik, you said that he almost had this sort of like warrior-ish presence when you saw him change. Maybe there's something in there that he does remember. Like, why would you know? He's very, very set on getting a set of armor made. We've all been in combat, but that's been his goal for really ever since we found all that meat. So
Right.
curious if maybe he gets that armor and it's got like I don't know, maybe some sort of special insignia on it, or
I need an
again,
image for
maybe
Alan.
reminds him of
That's what I need.
something. I don't know.
I mean, have you considered initiating Fluffy Fingers with him?
Fluffy fingers?
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. It's a pie. I mean, it's a sailor's kind of terminology I'm using. So sometimes when you're part of a big group or a family, right, you're gonna have disagreements naturally, and some days your crew members they just want to get right in your face, and then they want to yell at you till their spit like flicks across your cheek, right? And so what we do is we initiate Fluffy Fingers. That's where you dig your fingers into their sides and tickle them, and then they tickle you, and then you just keep tickling each other, and eventually you start laughing so much you forget what you were angry about to begin with, and then all's well, and you get along, and you go to Sunday temple worship together. And
I tell you what, I bet if you initiate Fluffy Fingers, I
Shaw's
bet you
mouth
I could
drops
get
open.
a feather.
Max, that was adorable. I mean, you want to initiate Fluffy Fingers with all of us?
she's gonna like look around to see who's like listening,
And for a second, like she kind of there's like a little scowl, like her eyes narrow, like don't call me adorable, right? And then there's nobody to impress here. She's just like, I mean, maybe later.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think our level of intimacy is there yet.
Kozik
Yeah.
breathes a sigh of relief. He's like, "Oh God."
Appropriate. Nice. Well, we'll put that in the to-do list. Okay. So, Zed, fluffy fingers with Raul?
You're me?
Hey, you think that would help? I don't know. That was
Well, it could be a way for me to get a feather,
okay. Okay.
I guess. I've never been called fluffy fingers, but I'm not opposed to adding new titles to my resume, so to speak.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
I'll be your wingman. I don't want to see this get violent. And if it does, you'll need some backup.
Wingman? Is that because he's got wings?
That was a good one.
Kozik, come on, mate.
What?
Think
That is, I don't know.
he does it on purpose, I'm convinced at this point. Well, have you guys considered just like asking him to borrow a feather? Like you're going to make an arrow or something, just lie.
I was actually thinking about doing that, but I feel like, I don't know. There's multiple ways of acquiring a feather.
Guess we
Think-
could just ask. We
Like,
could
hey,
just ask all of it. Like, why did you turn into a giant crow with a different voice for a minute there?
I mean, we don't have to ask him that. I feel like I'm just going to be honest, Bestie. If he knows, like, if he is in fact hiding the fact that he's a giant crow from us, do I want to know that fact, or do I just want to mind my business? Or is there, like there's something else going on there that he might not necessarily be fully in control of? Has it negatively impacted us yet, though? Is my question to you guys.
Well, he did almost murder the mimic guy back there by just sort of shoving in a spear and asking questions later.
Yes, a little much
Thank
for me as
goodness
well.
your brother was able to save the mimic's life, and look, we've saved an entire town because of that moment. Otherwise, we were going into be in a giant battle within a town full of starving mimics ourselves.
Yes, and that would not
By
have
the
been
way, where
well.
is your brother? He stayed up here when we went down below.
Well, I'm afraid to say that I believe that Veldrin has been called to a higher calling at this point. And she looks a little wistful as she says that, and she's like, it's not my place to question such things.
Cool. Okay. Well, anyway, I guess the point was, you saw what happened to Dale. It might be good to know if he's possessed or dangerous or unpredictably chaotic, crazy.
Oh, that absolutely. But like I suppose my question is like, do we bring up what do we choose to bring up? Like a plan of attack doesn't necessarily have to put all of our cards down on the table. We can hold back the hey, so we totally saw you turn into like this weird giant crow thingy. If you don't mind.
It
Instead
could be
we can just
shocking.
yes. We could simply point out like, hey, we were still chatting about this. I understand your point about killing Dale, and like honestly, I'm not mad. However, these sorts of things should be party decisions, not Raoul decisions.
I would want to know if I was turning into a crow, but that's just me.
I think it might be slightly less frightening given the fact that he's already a bird.
Sure.
And second
I-
off, like if he is like possessed by something, will it react negatively to us pointing that out? Do I want to fight Raoul in a one-on-one?
Hmm.
I mean, we could always give him a 5-fingered intervention. Do you know what I mean? Finger one awareness.
2, education, control, acceptance, and then 5thly, punching.
You know,
I think
I've
that
never
might
heard
that might
one.
work out.
Drops open again at these incredibly interesting, helpful, like well thought out techniques that Max is now sharing with us for how to do group dynamics and like to discover information. And Jaw's head tilts a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what do you think? Do we approach him? Do we do what part is going to be sort of clandestine versus direct? So the feather, clandestine?
I think we can
Definitely
ask him directly
clandestine.
for the feather. I don't think we tell him what we want to do with it.
Okay. And if he takes the feather out of his own like body, maybe it turns into a crow feather right there, and then it's like that's all the cat's out of the bag.
Exactly. Like, if he says no, then we have other questions to ask. And that's when we can go achieving it sneakily.
Okay, so if he
and we
says
can
no,
and we can also figure out if it does change into a crow's feather right in front of him, we'll be able to tell if he realizes that it turned into a crow feather or not. And we'll have more
Ooh.
information.
Right. Because if he's possessed, it could be like the people of Dale here, where
They
they
can't
can't
say
say
anything.
things, they can't see things. Right.
Or like
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think we have a plan here. So, does anybody want to? Who wants to ask? I'll ask if nobody else wants to. But what do you think? All want to go
He
together?
he thinks I'm a cultist, so I probably shouldn't ask. As funny as it would be to say I need it for an arcane ritual.
You're not a cultist?
I'm a cleric.
I'm just messing with you. Okay, let's do it. All right, Alan. So you don't need to pluck the feather. We're just gonna go and ask your friend Raul for a feather, okay?
Okay. As he
Okay.
still
And
dangles there.
Chop finally pulls him off as he's just starting to get tired. Oh man, that was cute. You've got some good arm strength.
I'm a squirrel.
Slips him. It just kind of puts him on his shoulder and like starts walking out there. All right, everybody, here we go.
So, Cha, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's really easy.
14.
You see a very familiar chonky cat staring intently at that little creature on your shoulder.
Oh, no, you don't. And Cha, like, instinctively just holds up his hands to hold on to Alan.
Meow. And it turns its butt to you and disappears into the brush.
That's right. Oh, God, goodness. That horrifying cat. Did you see it? Did you all see it this time?
I saw it.
Kozik, what's the deal with your matron, and their cats? What's the deal?
Different cat.
What's a different cat?
So the one that Kozik sees is a little more on the like tabby side. This one is just a big plump like mix that just they're definitely different entities.
And that was the one that ate the bird when we first
Yep.
entered. Okay.
The chonky one.
Well, Cha, I'm confused too, but that cat seems to be some sort of free agent.
Right.
But maybe seeing him is sort of a good omen? I'm not sure yet.
Wants to eat Alan here.
Well, I'll give you that. There's no accounting for taste, but
Oh, did you hear that, Alan? You taste good, don't you?
Alan's little tail flicks, and he chirps happily.
All right, here we go. And Cha's gonna, with the group, is gonna go have a little intervention. It sounds like with Raul.
Yeah, I'm with Cha.
So, luckily, this town isn't that large, so finding Cha is relatively easy, especially considering how he sticks out. And he also, I mean, yeah, he kind of sticks out. But the question is, did Raul tell the group where he was going?
I did not.
All right.
Some good music from The Witcher. If you're all
Sorry,
interested.
on the DM. I was just confused on how you worded that. So if you don't mind, would you take the things that I find versus the things that I can buy in town out?
So the things that you can find, yeah.
Not to,
Group,
not to interrupt
give me
everything. I was
a
just a bit confused.
pretty easy investigation. I'll say you have advantage on it to find Raul. Because it is small, you kind of know the layout. You know he's probably not in some random person's house. Okay. Okay, yeah, amongst all of you, you find him. He's in the shop. He's purchasing things. Or making a deal. But yeah, he's
That'd
in...
be so funny if we
Cha
walk
looks
in
kind of wide-eyed.
and Raul's like, "Hi guys, I was just making a deal with the shopkeep here." Anyway,
Right.
sorry.
Cha just kind of looks wide-eyed at everybody. It's like, okay. Hey, Raul. Getting your armor taken care of?
No, they're working on that smithy.
Great.
On restocking our coffers and supplies for, I figured if we're going to be traveling, I should probably, get us some things to venture, traveling gear, food, stuff to help us heal up if you need bandages, whatnot, and all that. Stuff we might need as a party.
So
That's very
Alan
helpful.
jumps off of Charles' shoulder and runs over to Raul. And just like the door dangles onto Raul's wing. Did not have the strength to pull anything, but he's just dangling there.
Alan, what are you doing?
Hanging out.
I see that. May I ask why?
That's all he says.
I'm gonna pick him up and set him down on the counter.
He just kind of
Alright.
sits there and stares.
Well, and can you not do that? It's if I open my wings or something and you're hanging there, you're very small, Alan. You're gonna go flying across the room.
That actually sounds fun.
Um,
And he climbs on your wing.
Right. So we're not gonna throw the magical talking squirrel against the wall. So just gonna say that, Alan, we're not doing
Cha looks at the group and is like nods a little bit. He's like, hey, look, restraint. Raul, we all had a question. We were curious if we could have one of your feathers.
that. Okay. And then I'm just gonna hand you one.
Okay, so what happens as he pulls the feather out? Like, what do we see here?
Nothing changes.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
I'm gonna reach back. Be like, give me a second. Can I give me that back real quick?
Sure.
And then I'm gonna take a knife out and I'm gonna cut the tip off of it. Be like, proper quill's got a sharp tip. And I'm gonna hand it back to him.
Hey, cool.
Right, a pen. That's exactly what we needed it for.
Yeah. Kind of puts it awkwardly into his bag.
I go back to writing in my book, my notebook. Or on a shop order form.
Chalk kind of looks at everybody, and kind of asks them to kind of move forward and try something.
Nothing happened.
I know. What should we say something?
In the background, Raul writing intensely on a form. In the foreground, the group is huddled.
Yep.
I'm oblivious to what you guys are doing. I'm too focused on what I'm.
Can I
doing.
throw in some charades here? Can I skedaddle to the side of this and then like point to Raul, right? And then point to the group and then do like my interpretation of fluffy fingers. Like I'm just gonna wiggle all my fingers and like point them at themselves and then just kind of move them in and out and then point back to Raul. Be like, do it.
Cha totally is like nods, thumbs up, double thumbs up with his big black fingernails, and then goes in and starts scritching Raul's like ribs and starts laughing. Yeah. And tries to tickle Raul. Tickle check.
Raul,
Tickle check.
do you let them attempt to do a tickle? Is Raul resistant?
Here we go.
I don't know. I'm waiting for a response.
Anticipation is killing me.
Or his internet went out.
Raul falls dead.
Oh, he did say that, didn't he?
Can you guys hear me?
We can
Yes.
now.
Okay, yeah, my internet died.
It was perfect timing. Cha just came. Max gestured for one of us to give you fluffy fingers, and Cha immediately reached in and started scritching you on your ribs and your like belly and stuff, trying to tickle you and laughing.
I'm gonna be very confused and be like, can I help you with something? What are you doing? Ruffle a bit and be like, are you all right?
That's
Can I
not
aid
working.
this? Can I aid in this tickling by like kind of motivating and then just be like, Raul, are you gonna just let him get away with that? Get him back, and then just encourage him to, tickle him back.
I'm gonna open my talons and look down at them and be like, no.
because he doesn't have fingers. So I don't think I'll do it back for just safety, but I'm my loss. I thought we were friends, but I didn't know we was this level of friends. And I'm gonna like camaraderie, like kind of punch you on the shoulder.
Oh,
I'm gonna nudge Niavara and then point to like Shaw and Raul and say like, see, that's how men greet each other.
I'm gonna lean over to Max because I'm completely unaware of the Fletcher thing. I only know them as Max, and I'm gonna say, "All right, yep, Millie P, standing up."
do you pee standing up, Raul?
Well, I don't, but Max's kind does.
I don't want to know any further. And Niavara is like looking through her own things. She's currently like in the middle of doing her, what's the word? Rituals for the morning. And she's like, I'm going to ignore that can of worms opened up by that statement, Raoul. And
Wise.
Fletcher, if you tell me that's how men greet each other, who am I to argue? And she sort of smiles at him, like, sort of like a sly little, Tell yourself that.
Zed's gonna kind of lean over to where he can. I'm assuming the shopkeeper, excuse me, is just behind the counter. Gonna kind of lean over to where he can see the shopkeeper and just be like, I'm sorry about all this. Apologies.
I've seen stranger.
Real.
Okay,
So,
guys,
Raul.
this isn't. Yeah.
No. You go ahead. You're
No,
busy.
no, go, please.
Are you finished with your, what you're doing?
Yeah. Chuck
And
kind of
what-
backs up,
Sorry, hit.
uncertain and awkward.
Are there any members of the crew here, by the way? Like randomly? DM? There's 13 of them. There's not a lot of places to be.
Nope.
I'm gonna roll this, and then convince Cha that whatever he is doing is actually tickling me, and I'm gonna start laughing hysterically. 'Cause I'm weirded out by it, but I don't want him to feel bad with whatever this gesture he's doing.
He definitely believes it. 100%.
So I'm cracking up, and I'm gonna be like, what can I don't? And I'm gonna be like breaking what I'm saying between laughter and be like, why are we doing this?
We're trying to figure out a way to ask you why you turned into a giant crow for a couple of seconds before the Dale fight.
About what I expected.
So I'm gonna get real serious for a second, and hold on, I got an idea. Didn't do it. I'm gonna look at you and be like, "So you found out who I really am." But I'm gonna,
Wait.
roll a one. I'm gonna break laughing in the middle of it and be like, "Oh yeah, I don't have the slightest clue what you're talking about."
Okay, all kidding aside, we were trying to approach you to ask a couple of questions.
All right. Whatever that one was, news to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I think I would know if I turned into a different person.
Well, for sure, Kozik and I saw you turn into a different creature with a different voice while you were talking to Dale. It was very strange. We were just curious what was going on.
Why would I do something like that?
Oh, we're not sure if you knew that you did it, so that was one of the questions. So, insight check. Does he really not know what happened? Eh.
I mean, as far as you can tell,
You know,
with that deception, yep.
I cubed DM before I say this.
Mhm.
The visions that he's been getting, they have not been discernible figures, right? He's seeing figures, but he doesn't know what they look like, or does he have a semblance of an idea of
Nope.
his people are crows?
He has no idea the visions are. I mean, just like the Mass Effect flashes, it's like they're too obscured, too vague.
Okay. Sean, I don't know what that is. I've been seeing a lot of things, but you know, you ever got that like deja vu feeling of like you've been here, done that, right? But I'm not getting that feeling from places we're going or the things we're doing. I feel like there's something I'm supposed to remember, but I keep forgetting to remember it.
Is
And at
there a
that
way
point,
we could do some? Yeah.
at
go
that
ahead.
point, Alan totally does a flying squirrel elbow drop from the rafters and misses horribly and just plops on the floor.
Oh.
But he's a squirrel, so he just gets back up. They kind of do that.
Why is Alan attacking me?
Oh, do you say that out loud?
Yes. Alan, what are you doing?
Almost got a feather that time.
Do you do you need one?
Child's looking at him and shaking his head now.
Okay, Alan gets it. And then climbs back on Mittens.
Can I pull out two feathers and attach them to Alan's back like little tiny wings?
I mean, you can. They're your feathers.
Oh,
I'm
cute.
gonna do that. Be like, there you go. You got your own wings now, Alan.
He doesn't do anything. He accepts.
Yeah. So, Chalk, or no idea what you're talking about. So, what did you see?
You turned
Okay, I
into a
think
giant warrior with that was courageous in aspect, but you were as if a giant crow.
I'm gonna
Cha's
pop
going
up.
to cast minor illusion to show like a three-dimensional model of exactly how Raoul looked at that moment, just hovering in front of all of them, like hovering above his palm. It's like this.
Oh, all right. And I'm gonna do this, and then be like this.
Right. Just like that.
So, what's it look like when you cast that? Because this is your first time casting it. Describe what it looks like
It
as
is
you
my
cast the
first time
spell.
playing it. So, is it verbal, semantic? What do we got?
It is verbal and semantic.
Right. So I'm gonna kind of ruffle my feathers a little bit, and as they're ruffling, think of like scales flipping. So like those pillows that when you swipe it one way it's one color, and when you swipe it another way it's a different.
Oh yeah.
So as I'm ruffling my feathers, I'm gonna um kind of touch at my face and move my hands around and like I'm readjusting myself, and then the feathers are gonna flip to the new color, or the new shape since it's disguise. Um, and then words. I don't know what I would say. some
Like,
sort
it doesn't
of.
necessarily have to be like a word per se. It could be like a sound or, verbal. Verbal
Bird,
just necessarily means
yeah,
there's something audible.
a whistling bird song.
Oh, so do you change into this often? Is it like one of your go-to disguises? I totally understand that.
No, because I, you know, still look like a bird person, and I feel like
Did you,
that stands out pretty well. I don't think
did you
this is a great
cast that
disguise.
spell? Did you cast that while you were talking to Dale?
No, no, I was reserving all my strengths possible because I knew I had to kick his ass.
Uh,
Whatever image you just showed me there, it's the first time I'm seeing it. I kind of like this look. It seems fitting, It seems a bit noble, and I'm gonna pull out the chain around my neck with the noble signet ring on it. I mean, like, I feel like whatever this is, makes sense with a guy that looks like this.
that guy might be who you actually are. I mean, or I don't know, something from your past, somebody. We're also wondering if you're possessed.
You don't think I'm Raoul? As far as I can remember, I've been Raoul. Ask Alan. He'll tell you. He's known me from the beginning.
Yeah, but you said you'd forgotten a lot of things and you've been remembering a little bit.
Yeah, but I can't tell what I'm remembering. But as long as I can remember, I've known Alan.
Right, maybe before Alan.
As this discussion goes on, the shopkeeper, you can very audibly hear the sounds of like fingernails tapping on the counter. It's just as the shopkeeper's just kind of looking between everybody in this discussion.
I'll let you finish your business, Raoul. No problem.
Um,
We'll talk about it later.
all right. Lot to think about, lot to unpack here. You know, try and make this quick. I don't want to keep your time, sir. I don't know what you're talking about, but like can it makes sense. I don't think I'm somebody else, if that makes sense. And I feel like I know if I was possessed by something. You know, I would. I don't think so, but do Joel, you're from the Hells, right?
Yeah.
Do people see things when that happens to them? Not, saying you've ever done that, but you probably got some knowledge on it.
Would I know if there are like visions associated with possession in a way that's like what Raoul was mentioning?
Only if they're trying to drive somebody to madness. But if it's possession, then why would you want your host to go crazy?
Right. So Chow would be like, no, that's not really a thing. You'd grab the soul, you'd suppress it into the background, drive it, prepare it to be received back in the hells.
But I would also say there are some that would, because if your host is insane, they're less likely to resist you. So there is some merit, but more often than not, they prefer to. It's easier to just lock them away in a particular place in their own body or mind than to go through the extra effort to inflict extra. But some are pretty sinister like that, so it can happen.
So I have enough. I can't tell what the visions are, but I remember what I see, right?
Yep.
Do I remember it enough to draw?
Nope.
Can I draw, whatever I think that I remember? And some whatever, I don't know enough about it to draw it exactly, but can I like chicken scratch together something that is what Raoul thinks is a good visual representation of it?
Give me a history check. That
even if it's not accurate.
you're able to draw some facsimile of what you saw, but it was very, like I said, very vague. A lot of blurred images.
So I was
It was
thinking
like an
blurry
image that you just
faces.
zoomed in way too far, or like you put your face to the screen.
So I'm thinking like blurry faces and like weird symbols that aren't quite any language, or because they're too blurry or they're too obscure. And I'm gonna hand this to Shaw and be like, "That's what I see," very confidently, even though it's very inaccurate.
Huh. Creative. A little eerie. There could
I
be
bet.
something there.
Ink blot test. What it looks like to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, like a Rorschach test. Yeah, that makes
Wow.
exactly. That's what I would see that. Yeah.
Okay, this leads me to my second point. I wanted to bring up some of. Remember when we talked about murdering people, and that's it's kind of one of our team rules not to do it.
I'm gonna like scratch at my forehead and be like, I don't think we've ever talked about that.
Oh, we definitely did, and it was specifically about you. It was a while back. I can see why it might have slipped your mind, but basically, what happened with Dale back there? We had all kind of decided to do a certain course of action, and you went and basically just murdered him. So we were hoping that you wouldn't do that in the future without really consulting with us and having a collective agreement.
We're gonna
Is that
turn
okay?
and we're like, all right. So I'm with you. 1 second. I'm gonna turn to the shopkeep and be like, did you like Dale?
No.
And I'm gonna turn back to Troll and be like, I don't think it was murder.
He got
Okay.
his just desserts.
And I'm gonna be like, so I'm getting what you're saying, I'm not challenging you, but
Sure.
rationalizing the situation, was it a bit drastic? Possibly, hadn't been sleeping, I got stabbed. Might not have been in the right head. But I don't know if it was murder.
Okay, I understand what point you're making. The main point, because it seems like that was what was going to happen to him anyway, no matter what. The main point is that we had decided on a course of action, and you went against it after we'd all agreed. That's the main issue here.
So, what you're saying, as you're having this delightful conversation in my shop, is
I'm
you
sorry.
are more frustrated that he didn't listen to orders than killing somebody. And he taps his chin, almost sarcastically.
I mean,
I'm gonna turn to the shopkeep and be like, "Yeah, well, that time I tried to kill you," and I'm gonna point it to the shopkeep as I say it.
well, yeah, no, I mean, kind of both. We, we don't. Will somebody
get
back
it.
me
I
up
get it.
here? I'm not sure what I'm saying.
You don't condone unnecessary violence.
I think what he's just trying to say is before we do any unnecessary violence, let's make sure that all of us are aware of said unnecessary violence.
And agree upon it.
Okay. Well, so what I was thinking is I really, really wanted that guy to not be alive anymore. And I was thinking that while you guys were talking, one, I was losing sleep. That's, not your fault, not anybody's fault per se, my own. Could have slept sitting on him. But, well, guess the way I was thinking it, I have this conviction to the, like, I guess the best way to put it, Troy, you know how you felt about saving these people?
Yeah.
You were just like, to your core, you were really you felt you had to do it. I don't know what it was, but it was like this little gnawing like woodpecker in my brain. No, I was just saying everything that you'll do in your life leads to this man's death. And
Oh, so you're saying it might not, like, it wouldn't happen again that way because this was a specific thing with Dale.
you know, I don't, I'm no psychopath. I don't fantasize about murdering everybody. I just this guy. There
That's
was
good to know.
something. There was just something about this guy that he just needed to not be around anymore. But I don't know if it was him or if it was the Dale inside of him or remnants of the Dale that was left inside the vessel. Don't know. Something said this man's candle needed snuffed. And I was really afraid that you guys were going to go present him to these gents here, and they were going to be, always forgiven and be a bit pious.
Bro.
And then I would have, had to sneakily go murder somebody, and I didn't want to do that.
So those of you not a part of this conversation, feel free to give me a little perception check. As you know, these two are kind of having a discussion and talking amongst each other, kind of focused on each other.
I'm turning back and forth to the shopkeep, and I'm writing more stuff down.
Niavara?
I'm going to do 10 parchment for a
Damn.
notebook. Is that okay, Cubed?
Nice.
So, Kozik, Zed, and Niavara would notice a very familiar looking tabby cat sitting on the windowsill, staring intently at Kozik, specifically at Kozik. And its tail is just kind of whipping behind it. You can kind of barely see. It seems to be waiting patiently. Anywho, continue or do as you wish. You notice that.
I look at the cat and I'm surprised and I say, "Oh, hello, friend. What news?"
Well, the window's closed.
Oh, it's outside the window.
Yeah, it's outside.
So it sees me gesturing and mouthing something at it, and maybe I go out. Can I go to the door and check it out? Poke my head out there, see what's up.
So you go outside.
Yeah.
All right. So I'd say at this point, Fletcher would notice Kozik just kind of randomly go outside because you didn't really notice the kitty. But Zed, Niavara, and Fletcher did notice Kozik sort of walk outside while Cha and Raul are having this discussion. And yeah, you make your way outside pretty, uneventfully. And this little tabby cat just sits there, staring at you, flicking its tail. At this point, it's kind of beating against the window because it's, its back is to the window now. So it's just like, thunk.
Right.
And yeah, you got it pretty good. So underneath this cat, sitting on the windowsill, appears to be a piece of parchment.
Oh, what's that? Is that something for me, mysterious one?
Meow.
Well, I reach to grab it.
As you do so, the cat just kind of lifts its paw and jumps off the windowsill. And just, as cats do, just meander.
Hmm. Well, I take a look at the parchment.
There's nothing on it.
Hmm. As part of my leveling up, part of this new awakening, I have detect magic at will as a eldritch invocation. So I'm going to give a little quick thought and think about detecting magic on this thing.
So with detect magic.
Oh, I guess maybe I'll push the button here just for the sake of a cast spell.
All right. Well, gotta scroll because I messed something up. So this has a aura of, there it is. So this actually radiates conjuration magic.
Well, I kind of look at it quizzically. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing. Can I do an Arcana check on it, or how do I? So I'm seeing it as a blank thing. Like, it seems magical. Seems like there's a specific kind of magic on it, but it's just blank.
I was double checking something. Say it again.
Oh, just I don't know. I guess can I do an Arcana check on it? I don't really
Yeah.
know what to do with it.
Sure.
All right, let's give it a try. Come on. Come on. 1 second. There we go.
Yeah.
Good.
Um.
I have the temptation to like just kind of like toss it away, but I'm like, maybe I should keep it though.
I mean, you guys do have inspirations amongst you guys.
You also have friends who might have knowledge about such things, but I'm too busy coughing like men do, you know, when they clear out their throat and just just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised to see Fletch not like grabbing his crotch, and I'm like, huh. Like, oh, there's. And I mean, if we're just continuing, I kind of show it. I'm like, does anybody found this? The cat gave me this piece of paper. Well, it's parchment, so it's a little nicer than that, but I can't. It seems to be magic. Does anybody know anything
What kind of magic?
about this? I had a sense that it was an abjuration.
Abjuration?
It was conjuration.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was conjuration. I thought abjuration was weird.
Perhaps a conjuration. Yeah.
Wait, the paper or the cat?
The cat's gone, so I guess the paper.
I was gonna say if it was the cat, then that was definitely someone's pet familiar, right? Isn't a conjuration kind of a, you know, they deal with creating like objects and creatures, and they make things kind of disappear sometimes. It can be really really powerful, especially in the. Why didn't
Maybe
you
they're-
unroll it?
Maybe there's secret writing on it or something. All right, let's check it out.
All right. So you unravel it, and there's a bunch of squiggly lines and sideways lines and X's and circles and symbols.
You guys are all outside, right?
Yep.
Definitely want to get in on this because I also really like magic. Like, Fletcher's gonna be right next to what's his name? Kozik.
Yep. Kozik.
Right.
I'm teasing. I know it. I'm teasing. I'm sorry.
You really do just have a learning disability, huh?
But, I'm like, well, it could be. It's either some sort of magic scroll or it's a message from my patron. I guess I'm a little embarrassed to say, but this cat seems to be connected.
Wait,
to some.
patron. What kind of business are you in?
It's some. I'm not quite sure yet, but there seems to be a relatively well-known queen of the Fae who seems to have some connection to me.
And the paper's blank.
Well, I guess now that I look at it, it has some sort of squiggles on it. It could be a magic scroll.
Squiggles. or maybe you just don't know the language it's written in.
Hey,
Fuegos.
Kozik, have you turned it upside down? Potentially you were holding it the wrong way.
Oh, okay, yeah, I turn it upside down again. Does that help?
Nice.
Now, you got to
No.
be careful with stuff like that. Conjuration, you could sometimes there's like little elemental spells that could be conjured, or like have you ever had somebody conjure like poison to fill like a room with gas? You might be saying some words and then die in the next. But if you think it's from your your patron or whoever, probably fine.
Can I use Eyes of the Rune Keeper on it? Does that tell me anything, or is it more of like a magic writing or something?
It's more of a magic writing, like some kind of spell scribed on it.
Here, hold it up for everybody to see. We'll scrutinize it a little bit.
You guys want to weigh in on this? Anybody know anything about this? Niavara? No?
And she sort of scratches her head, like, I guess I can take a look at it. I'm going to be completely 100% honest here, Kozik. If you, the warlock, can't understand what your patron is saying, then I think that I'm going to be at a dead loss, but I'm happy to give it a shot. And she, like, reaches a hand out for it.
Wait. Before she does, I want to aid her in her role, right? And I want to give her bardic inspiration, and just be like, and remember, it's I before E, except after C.
Be a
That she.
investigation check, by the way.
That little couplet help her in any way?
So are you trying to decipher it, or like?
Yeah, she's trying to see what it is that he's missing.
Okay. Yeah, give me just a double check. Actually, so you reach out and you try and figure out what this writing is, and you think on it for a moment, like, what's on this scroll? What the fuck? If anything, there might be some religious context pertaining to a religion check.
Well, Niavara might be good at that.
That's where you'd be wrong. I could definitely try it, though.
The cleric is like, not my strong suit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, religion's not my strong suit.
I have played
Oh,
2 characters, so situational bonus of +1.
Hey, you can always roll good.
Don't forget, you have inspiration. You get a +1.
See, that's an 11. You're not really able to decipher what it's saying.
And she sort of shrugs, like, okay.
But there is, because you are a cleric. The runes glow a little bit, kind of light up as you get closer to it. But, you're not really sure what that represents.
Anyone else who's religiously inclined here? Because I'll be completely honest, my religiosity mostly just, what's the word? Extends to my understanding of my religion.
Of the traveler.
Correct. The 6, the traveler. And that means I'm no disrespect to anyone here, to be very entirely clear. But
Well, can I do a religion check, or is it not within my understanding to do that?
You can.
Okay, I'll give it a try too. Like that, you give me an idea. Somewhat better.
Okay. So, with a 17 religion, well, first off, as you look at it, it's intermingled, and you kind of have to squint your eyes a little bit and turn the paper in a weird angle. But there are symbols pertaining to your patron. But there's also some other symbols squiggled on there, but they don't seem to point to any specific entity or one that you really know of. That was really hard to get that information. But I'll say between all the investigation and you guys putting your heads together and getting some of the context of it, there is a spell inscribed in here. But what that spell is... think of it like there's a spell inscribed in the runes, but there's also some writing with it. But yeah.
Maybe we can get some more information about it in the next town over. So I'll roll it up and keep it safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you basically would have had to roll almost a nat 20 for additional information on that. Anyway.
Nat 30, yeah.
So yeah, back to the folks inside. Raul and Cha, you kind of realize the party is just... They stepped outside. They're like not there at this point. You guys have been having this discussion. Alan's been kind of chirping at everybody. The shopkeep is throwing in his own 2 cents of your situation. He definitely seems glad to be able to speak ill of Dale.
Cha turns back and realizes everybody's left. He's like, okay. I guess bottom line, Raul, if it's possible to try to make group decisions more with us instead of go off on your own. You know, you went ahead, you got into some trouble with Dale. You like to kind of sticky before talking.
Well, I wasn't trying to get ahead of everybody. I was looking for an exit, and I saw a light. He just happened to be the cause of that light.
No, I hear you. You get my point, right? Like, just let's try to be more group decisions, if possible, so that we don't all get killed.
Right. So, like,
That's all.
when we went in today, and I'm gonna come up with like a really long-winded, like, example of when it's okay to ask and when it's fine to go ahead and make decisions. Like now he's like, all right, so
Charles going to be
when
very patient with all the examples and just
when I
nod and like slowly describe to him what point he's trying to get across about trying to make decisions with the group.
And
all right,
Alan literally
so
falls asleep on top of Mittens as all this is happening.
when we do this, it's okay you not ask permission. But when we do this, probably should check with everybody else. But
And
all right,
Cha's nodding, or he's like agreeing or disagreeing, and just kind of very slowly, like example after example, just saying, "Yep, nope, yep, nope,
all
yep,
right,
yep."
and don't
Gotta get his character sheet
murder
ready.
people in cold blood.
If you can help it.
I'm gonna look at the shopkeep and like give him a little nudge and be like, "You heard him. He said sometimes it's okay."
Ah. Cha slaps his forehead.
I could have told you that.
Speaking of which, sorry about trying to kill you, by the way. Well, he was gonna eat me.
It
Which
is
I
really
didn't.
interesting having this discussion with the shopkeeper there, who you murdered.
Yes. Yeah, all right. I'm understanding, but you've got me in this weird paradoxical civil war in my head of what's real and what's not. You got a lot to think about on that.
To be perfectly fair, I think you were having that war before this discussion. Oh,
Probably, but in the wise words of Max, sort of bottle it up like men do.
ah,
Very, very unhealthy way to address that.
don't do that. So I think Chaw's just happy that he started the discussion, even if it's very far from over. But he's happy that he brought up an issue that could start ballooning out of control. That's all.
All right, now question before we we go about our business.
Yeah,
If somebody does need a good stabbing, we can still do it, right?
absolutely. The point is that we all kind of agree on the course of action together for the most part, unless you're backed into a corner and you're all by yourself and you need to make a decision. Just when it applies to the whole group, let's try to make those decisions together. And yes, sometimes it can be stabby stabby.
Not that I got like this urge to stab you. I just want to know, that sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Like say we walk into a cave and a bunch of goblins start trying to
How's
stab
that?
us.
Oh, what?
Want to
Oh,
know
if we're
What's
being
that?
stab 'em
attacked
back.
by anybody and it really looks like we're all in danger or any one of us is in danger, go for it.
So Raoul's taking all of this like as literal as possible, and and not. That's why he's asking these weird loopholes to these rules.
And Cha has had these kinds of discussions before with Raul, so he's just being very patient about it now and
Okay.
like realizing that this is how Raul's mind works, and he's just like trying to make it as clear as possible, but not too complex.
All right, I'm with you there. But a question. Oh God, sorry for
Oh,
asking.
okay.
After everything that's happened the past few days, and I'm gonna get real serious. I'm gonna grab you by the shoulder. I'm like, how are you though?
How am I?
No, don't just say, "Oh, I'm all right. Everything's fine." No, look me in my eyes and tell me, "Are you all right?"
Uh, Chaw's eyebrows furrow. He's like, "Ah, I'm extremely concerned, Raoul. There are devils from the hells that are attacking these places on different planes of existence. Creatures from where I came from. And not
Um,
only that, but specific families that were rivals against my house in hell are attacking. I'm extremely concerned. I'm concerned for all of us.
um,
Niavara's collecting these rings that are like from these weird entities, Kozik and his patron, and I know all about that patron. Very strange, twisted creature, from what I have read, anyway.
dude, oh, would I
I
know
mean,
one about the hells, and two, would I know about the patron, or Raoul was under the impression it's a cult, but does he actually know what it is?
All of those questions pertain to relevant checks.
All right, which one do I got to do?
So which one are you asking about first?
The hells first.
Hells. That's gonna be history.
Nope.
Hell is hell.
So I understand like it's a plane of existence, but I don't really know what goes on.
Correct. He has insights that go way over your head.
And then, all right. So then the next would be the patron.
The patron would be religion. No, history. I guess either one technically. You'll get different information.
I have a 2 to intelligence, so it'll be the same.
So I guess so. The first question is did trying to remember if at any point Cha told Raul all about Kozik's patron.
I believe that Raul was there when we had the big discussion. You know what? He might have been screwing around with that air elemental that was messing with him at the time, and off from in a distance.
Was
Off in the
this
distance.
during when we saved them from the guy that was trying to kill him with the vines?
It was somewhere around that time. It was when we were on the turtle. We were on the turtles area. It was before we attacked all the cows.
Didn't we even have like a visitation from
Yes,
the queen, from my lady?
correct.
Yes.
Because we said her
Just
name
not-
so many times.
Just not
she
while
appeared.
Raul was there, I believe.
I don't
Raul, I
think
think he was with the party, but he was like off in the distance messing around with that air elemental. I think.
I think that was a game I missed.
Could be.
But so in character though, he
But
would have
he
heard.
can fill him in though. Like
Yes.
Chalk and fill
All
him in.
right. And then the cult. I kind of want to leave it as just he thinks it's a cult.
It's a
Chaw's
cult.
kind of like, well, I can. I mean, it's not inaccurate. I don't think.
So the hell thing, devils coming in and out, right?
Yeah.
No bit or thing or two about, interplanetary, interdimensional travels. And
Do you?
is that bad? Is that a thing that's not supposed to happen? I feel like people come and goes. Please, you guys showed up here from not here.
Well, I'll put it this way: if creatures from the hells are going to any plane of existence, it's not a good thing, for the most part.
Well, I guess I can get behind that. That one butler guy, he kind of sucked. Speaking of
Right.
that, unrelated, not to digress. That glaive thing that Vel had, do you know what happened to that?
I was thinking about it too recently. What did happen to that thing? Did we drop it somewhere? Was it too big to schlep?
I recall Cha taking it at some point.
That's what
Did
I
he?
was told was Cha had it, but I don't think it's in your inventory.
I don't think Cha. I don't think he would be carrying around that massive thing. Somebody took it. I thought that Zed maybe took it. Somebody was trying to use it.
I know somebody in the current party has it. That's what I'm getting at.
If possible, Raul doesn't have a melee weapon and would love to have. So
I mean, so I know, so Zed does, and this is
Wait, what are
something
we
that
talking
is
about?
very obvious. Zed is still hauling around that cow halberd.
I used it to block the door.
Ah.
He just didn't take it out of his inventory.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
What are we talking about?
Beldrin's slave from the butler.
Let's see, that's
Oh,
Tori.
Somebody
I
in
don't
the
know.
party.
I don't know that we resolved that really.
I thought we left it there.
Like
I
it
don't
was
know.
it was
we
in
were-
it was
we were
in
carrying it
Veldrin's
around.
inventory.
Yeah, Veldrin was carrying.
So if Veldrin left without giving it to anyone,
Oh.
then Veldrin still has it.
So
I-
yeah, so it would be gone then.
I didn't realize that. Okay, I needed to remove this. The halberd, right?
Yeah, I used Neovar's short sword, my 2 spears, and your halberd. So
Okay.
unless you took it back from the door,
No,
it
I
would be
need
it
to
would
remove
still
it.
be a part of that contraption.
Hope he doesn't have it. Okay.
Alrighty.
So okay, so the glave's gone. So then I'll just next town I'll try and find. All right. So then Raoul then understands all this stuff, and he's done
Chalk kind of
asking.
unloads all of his concerns about the group, like probably too many for Raoul to even keep track of like deceptions, lies. Like he's not giving away personal information, but he's just like the fact that it's happening, that there've been so many lies, there've been so much tension. Like he's starting to have a little bit of a meltdown, talking about all the problems that are going on before stopping himself and being like,
So at that
So-
point, I'll switch the camera because you guys have had a very extended
"Oh
conversation.
yeah, go
So
for it."
those of you outside, is there anything you guys want to do real quick?
No, I think we're just about ready to move on to the next town or get on the road.
All right. So Kozik's just kind of stashing that little piece of parchment away, and everybody's just kind of setting up.
I need to pay for my stuff.
Yeah, just give him the gold for it.
I don't know how much it is.
Well, I know how much you have. I'll just subtract that for you.
It's up here somewhere.
But
Right
yeah,
back.
you make your purchase.
50 arrows, a net, caltrops, and a shovel. I do not find any sort of mounted travel or some like a stagecoach or somebody we can pay to take us to the next town.
Nope. If you recall, they said the butler kind of took care of everything, that any kind of travel or carrying things.
Okay. So there's no forms of transportation to take us there.
Nope.
And I guess I'll just.
I mean, you can try and tame a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's true. I don't want to.
Speaking of which, by the way, hey Kozik, specifically Kozik,
Yes.
you
Yes.
observe a tiny little feathered turtle slowly waddling up in your general direction from the bushes.
Look, it's him.
It moves slow as spit, and it just continues to slowly meander in your direction. Anywho, continue. You notice that.
Oh, I think that's a good omen.
Everything's a good omen right now. But
Good Omen is very intriguing to me personally. However, I also can't disagree with you necessarily.
how in the world this little creature survived is beyond you. Especially knowing, how much of a struggle you guys had dealing with the current state of the predators outside of Dale. But anywho, so, did y'all say you had to BRB?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
like 5 gold tops.
All right. So yeah, you pay for your stuff. The shopkeep has just been waiting very, 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 very patiently. Good thing he's not hungry.
And then my armor. That's it, and I'm ready to go.
So you ascertain it's gonna take probably a couple days for them to make armor. Like, it takes time to properly clean it, and I mean, you could put in like an order and maybe come back later. Because
Yeah.
making armor takes definitely more than a day.
I guess then I would ask the party if they are willing to wait before we leave to the town, and I guess just fast forward till we leave.
Back.
My reasoning behind waiting is, from what I hear of your travels before me, once you leave a place, you don't tend to come back.
I would say
Referencing
that's
this
pretty
bar,
accurate.
this bar you
So-
were supposed to go
so you
back to
probably-
a year ago.
So you'd probably be able to
The
ascertain, and, you know, the shopkeep can tell you, the smithy leatherwork can tell you that they can integrate some of this into some armor, but to make it purely armor takes days. Like in a normal situation, it would take like 30 days. But you know, 8 hours of working, you know, 8 hours per day for 30 days is sort of the rules on it. But that's for plate armor. But so basically, it absolutely used to take like a week or two.
All
Probably.
right, so to just fix my normal leather armor and then give me back what's left. I guess that's what I'll do.
Yeah, if you're like fronting the material, then you know.
I was wanting to show off this mimic insignia, the fancy master-crafted leather armor to the other towns we were going to.
Yeah, it just takes time to make it.
I would ask the party if they're willing to wait, but I don't know if they are. So I guess, are you guys willing to wait and fast
Market
forward a whole
price
month?
per 5 days.
Or no?
For 30 days?
Yeah.
If we can find this astral ship, maybe we can pilot it back to pick up your armor and visit the people of the town. But
And also,
I mean, I'm coming back for the crew anyway, right?
yeah.
Going to get materials. So we're
Also
back.
consider that this is not even the size of a town. This is a hamlet, so resources and the ability for them to make it, you know, it's one of those things. Because, you know, it's not just the leather that is used in making leather armor. Like, it's a good component, yes, but there's other things that need to be done to it.
I will then, tell them to fix what I have currently and then make an entire new set and I'll come back for it. And then I will ask them how much it would cost me to make it special.
On the house
In
for the heroes of our town.
I guess out of character, I'm asking how much it would cost for me to make it magical.
Nothing.
Because of the house. The house is now theirs, whatever's in there, right? Like
you
'cause there
gave
was
them
a
all the
bunch of
rupees
stuff
too.
in there.
I don't know if Cube will let me have the armor I want, but I
Well,
want to try.
which is the armor that you want? Because he didn't tell me. what that
Glamoring
was.
armor. +1 studded armor, but it has the disguise spell imbued in the armor. You can change what the armor looks like at will.
Oh no, there's no way anybody here could make that.
So then I will
That
just
that
have
would
them make-
require, so something like that. Like if it was just some normal armor, that would be something they, you know, it'll take them some time to make, but they can eventually get the resource to do it. If it's like something magical, they don't really, you know, it's a, do they have the resources to make something of that potency?
Then I'll just request them to make, the finest master crafted piece that they can of studded armor, studded leather, because I can still fly with that. And then I will try and get it enchanted somewhere else. And we'll go on with our day.
Yeah, so you'd know if you want to get some magical stuff, you probably have to find a location that has a higher population, a higher density, which usually means they have greater access to resources, probably more spellcasters that can, you know, do that kind of thing, and better craftsmen, etc., etc. So it's more of a location can sort of dictate rarity. And this is a town of less than 100 people, so
True.
Yeah, so I'll do that, and then we'll go on to Xarith. Xarith.
All right. Well, you walk outside, and everybody's sort of like huddled around and ready to go. Kozik is probably pondering something.
Did I give a private goodbye to my crew? Or not private, like it'll be public, but can I tell them goodbye? Can they line up like on the street as we're leaving?
Oh yeah, you give the order and they line up. You know,
Alright.
as your crew should.
Alright. I'm gonna start off and I'm gonna be like, Amaranth, and I'm just gonna go down the line for all of them. Amaranth, you keep that infectious laugh, okay? That's my cabin boy. And then I'm gonna name all of them. Billy, you know, they say every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Goodbye. James, if you're brave enough to say goodbye, you know, life will reward you with a new hello. And I'm just gonna each down the line, I'm gonna step, we're all gonna hug, like every time I say something. Dilly, goodbyes make you think. They make you realize what you've had and what you've lost and what you've taken for granted. And then I'm gonna go to Dash. He's the little hippo with the blonde wig that's always falling off. And I'm like, don't cry, Dash, because it's over. Smile because it happened, right? And it's like a little teary goodbye. And then I'm gonna go Dancy. Some causes happiness whenever they go, you know, while others whenever they go, right? And you're that latter one. In comedy, I'll see you later, alligator. And that's all I'd say to her because we didn't really get along that well. And then for Cupid, it's like, you know, we laughed until we had to cry, and we loved right down to our last goodbye. We were the best, Cupid. And then to Prince, and can miles truly separate you from your friends? If you want to be with someone you love, aren't you already there? And then to Vixen, thank you for everything that you've accomplished so far, and good luck to everything that you will accomplish in the future. And then to Donald, the pain of a hard goodbye is the heart's tribute to the privilege of love, right? And then to Rudy, the pain of parting, you know, they say is nothing to the joy of meeting again, which is basically what I just said to Donald, but in different words. But I just thought, you know, you don't really listen so well, so I would say it twice for you. And then I'm gonna go to the last one, my first mate Blitz, and I'm gonna say, do me a favor, Blitz, when you get done with things and you're kind of in charge and you start running this place, right? I want you to make us a bakery, the best bakery anyone's ever seen. And then everybody will know that the bakery in Dale is a very real and valid thing. And then I'm gonna give him a hug. All right.
Hey, Captain. I Captain. And he tries to hold back. But you know, after the hug, he straightens up and nods. Definitely some choking, you know, on his part, and you know, he's doing his best. He's doing his best. He's doing his damnedest.
Is off to the side, tearing up a little bit, watching that delightful greeting card kind of Hallmark series of moments. Did you actually have the Hallmark like website open when you did that? That was amazing.
And then you see like Fletcher, people who were paying attention, she's got like a little like notebook of like how to say goodbye. It's a very small pamphlet, and she's been reading from it. I just wrote it in a Google document.
That was great.
Alrighty. So,
Farewell, people of whatever town you decide to call this town.
the townsfolk, you know, maybe not all of them, but a good portion of them stand on the edge of the town and wave and cheer, and the little girl that hugged Kozik's legs is also waving and cheering.
I think again about, you know, trying to give her the doll, and then I think, nah. For some reason, I think I'll keep it.
I mean, you can. She's right there.
I take a look at the bear, and I look at her.
Yep, and you stare into its beady, lifeless, soulless eyes, and you just kind of get lost in them for a second. But continue.
Say, do you, I kind of point it at her, and I'd say, do you want this, little girl?
She shakes her head.
No. Well,
And she also stares into its beady, lifeless, devoid of everything.
She knows the end of worlds when she sees it.
well, anyway, so I jerk it away from her and I put it back on my in the front of my armor there, wherever I can affix it.
And when you do so, she kind of tugs at your clothing. I guess I can take it.
Oh, all right. Well, so I take it back off and I say, keep it safe for me.
She nods, and then just kind of gets lost in its eyes.
Hmm. Well, another happy customer, I guess.
Yep.
No,
And give me a quick wisdom save, real quick. Just kind of
save.
kind of
Okay.
curious. There's no way you could roll low on this. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll pass with flying colors.
Yeah.
And then roll me a d6.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Okay. Continue.
It does the heart good to see a child with a new toy. I guess. And I do have some sort of doubt about the bear, but ultimately, for now it's with a good home. I kind of think I don't even know where I got it. That's really strange, huh? Oh well, anyway.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So what y'all want to do? It's at this point you guys have kind of stood around and interacted and had conversations and unraveled some mysteries and found more mysteries. But at this point, you probably get the feeling it's about at this point like midday, like maybe noon.
It was nice to have a rest. I think time to move on.
Navarre perks up like we do have like a handful of things that we should probably get to doing, either here or back in the mortal plane.
Right.
So, sounded like you guys are ready to start heading to Xarith.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I, as we're exiting, I want to just kind of like cup my hands around my mouth, right? And I'm like, all the crew's still there, right? They don't want to see me. They're all still like waving, and they're just almost even dots in the background, right? And I just want to be like, you could name the town the good town Voldemort after me, for saving you. Just a suggestion.
All right.
I'd like to cast suggestion. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So
Town of
you are
Voldemort.
sort of following a bit of not necessarily a road or a trail or anything that seems fairly well traveled, especially considering, the circumstances we dealt and, what happens there. But I will allow you all to give me a party-wide perception check. I'm sure somebody will pass. I'm sure somebody will. I'm sure somebody. Okay.
Have
Close.
one success.
Oh, wow.
Okay, 2
Nice.
passes.
Here we go.
So,
That was a high DC, whatever that was.
Cha and Niavara, it's a distance thing. So, Cha and Niavara, you just absolutely swear that as you're walking along this sort of beaten path, maybe there's some wind. Hold on, I have ambient sound for this. I made it. I made it myself, so I know it's not copyright.
Ooh.
Well, not made it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? There we go.
Cool.
Try not to make it too loud for you guys because my audio's different. But yeah, as you get closer and closer to Xarith, the memories and the experience and just kind of the whole scenario of Dale, it's being left behind. It's all of that is now behind you. It's in the past. It's new lessons, but old experiences. And upon maybe even a sense of accomplishment, like you guys did level up, so you learned a good bit of things about how to deal with possession and how to throw unarmed people to the wolves. You learned a couple things, and the do's and the don'ts of murder. And Niavara and Cha, you could swear amidst this wind that's slowly picking up as you get closer to the mountains and these rocky crevices, that music? No. It's almost like the music itself is playing in tune with the wind. And you guys sort of, I wouldn't say you barely notice it. The DC was 17, by the way. So you notice it.
Chalk kind of furrows his brow and looks around at his teammates, and maybe notices that Niavara is also noticing something, but where nobody else is, and looks at her. And it's like, kind of points his finger around. It's like, you, yeah, hear that?
And she's making a face and she's like, I actually sort of do, and I'm sort of unnerved by it.
And
Right?
it sounds like it's a bit in the distance. Like it sounds like it might be a little bit far away, but it's totally ignorable. Like you definitely are able to ascertain whatever it is nowhere near you. But that could
that
just be
be-
a function of being in the Feywild, and things get a little wonky sometimes around here.
Could that be from the town?
Definitely
Or-
not from that direction.
Hey, everybody! There's some music playing in the distance.
Oh, they're gonna meet up with this character?
What kind of music?
Yeah, what is it? What is its tone? What is its mood?
Give me a sec. I gotta look in there. Look at something here, just to make sure I don't screw it up. So he had as a proficiency. He had a dang it, where is it? Where'd I put it? Sounds like a pan flute. And it's sort of, well, you're not close enough. You can't really tell. You just kind of get an upbeat feeling, but you're not close enough to really pick up a whole lot. Pan flute, yeah.
Okay, I've read stories about music playing out in the woods, and this is the Feywild. Could lead to our ultimate destruction, or could be a major, cool experience.
That sounds about right. It'll either lead to our deaths, or we'll have a great time.
Uh,
Love the Feywild.
Biography.
Any opinions? Should we check it out? Or keep on?
I think we're gonna have to check it out, unless it's does. I still can't hear it. Is it? It sounds like a joyous tune.
I think if we go over in this direction, you might be able to hear it better.
I'm up for it.
I want to cast Skyrite, and I just want to draw a big giant heart with clouds, so that hopefully the town of Dale can see it. And I'm just like I'm almost in like a pouty kind of sad mood and like kicking rocks and stuff, right? And then just following wherever they're going. I'm just gonna follow, right?
All right. There are clouds, so you are definitely able to accomplish that goal.
Did the rest of us notice that they cast that?
Oh yeah, there's verbal and semantic components to this, and this is I'm just kind of muttering under my breath. It's almost like a hum, right? There's a little bit of singing to it, but it's very quiet right now. And even the gestures and stuff, I'm like, tell you what, I'm gonna lick my index finger and I'm gonna stick it up to the above me, and I'm gonna close my eye as if I'm trying to gauge the direction of the wind, and I'm gonna nod twice and look back up, and then with that finger, I'm gonna draw like a heart, and then all the clouds above us are kind of swirl until they form just one big heart. Very noticeable.
Definitely watches and looks up, smiling. Looks back at Fletch. I'm glad you came with us, Fletch.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. I kind of felt like that was goodbye, you know? Like I know we're gonna go investigate things and find resources, but you saw them back there, right there. I think they're done. I think that's what they want to do. Like, who am I to rip that happiness away from them, right? They're content to make that a new home, right? I'm not. So I guess we'll just stick around.
They love you, Fletch. They'd go to the ends of the world for you.
Yeah, but it'd be pretty selfish for me to bring them. Don't you think?
We'll probably be back. And then I kind of look away and I think, even I believe that? But then I think about the bear and I'm like, no, I'll probably come back for that. We'll see.
Cha just smiles at Fletch.
Unfortunately, I don't have a pan flute of my own, so I couldn't really find a ambient sound for that. One day. Well, there
You
are,
were
but I
talking
still
about music, right?
Yeah, I think off in this direction. Now it could lead to our deaths.
I'm gonna
Or,
dab at like the corners of my eyes.
Uh-huh. I'm listening.
yeah, you know. I'm up for a party. If it's a party and if it's a 50-50 shot of like death or a party, I'm willing to go for the party 50%.
Optimistic individual than I am, Cha Rafiki. However, you know what? I get the sense that I'm outvoted.
No, it's fair. You think it would lead to our death?
It's ominous music out in the middle of the Feywild. I'm expecting some Fey nonsense, if you will.
Well, we could just play music right back
Death
at them.
party.
Are any of you talented?
Death party, woo!
I
Yes,
thought
no.
somebody is.
One of us
Niavara
probably.
can sing.
No, I cannot.
Oh, okay.
Can you not sing? You could sing us a song.
I can.
Chop turns to Niavara.
Go ahead.
Oh no, just Chop turns to Niavara to see if she's gonna sing.
Niavara's like, Cha. I cannot sing, in fact. That's not a bit.
Forgot that Kozik does know some dwarven opera that he can get into if needs to, but
Is it anything like Klingon opera?
sort of, but also kind of disco. So
Nice.
we'll see what we get into here.
Oh, that's the real
I mean,
question. What do
I
you?
can accompany you if you want. I can know bagpipes, flute, and the lute. The Golden Trio, as they're known back home.
Ah. Zed,
I'm-
you've got to know some shanties or something, right?
Well, no, you asked me before, honestly, but I was never the one that was. We had Gertrude, if you remember,
Ah,
Gertie,
yeah.
right? So, unfortunately, never got to practice because they were just so good.
So are we making our way towards this sound, or
I don't know. Are you? Nobody's giving me a definitive answer yet.
Yavara, let us know your concerns. You think it'll lead to our death?
And she considers it for a hot minute, and she's like, you know what? I get the sense that we want to head towards the music. If it ends up killing us, it ends up killing us. We'll be dead. We won't have to worry about it.
Kind of feeling like that too.
Yeah, let's go.
Onward!
All right. Confirmation. What the DM needed. So,
Let's hear it, Captain Fletch.
yeah, let's hear it.
Wait, what are we hearing?
You're gonna sing, no?
What are we? Okay, yeah. What kind of songs you want me to sing?
Something jolly and victorious.
Sally and Victorious. Okay. Um, let's see. And she's gonna like pull out her lute and just kind of strum a little bit, and then just clear her throat and just. Usually I save these kind of power chords for when I'm in the heat of battle, but I think it'll be fun just to sing without killing anybody today, if that's fine with you.
A-okay.
All right. She says, this is one time there was this astral elf. You know what they are? They have stars in their eyes. They're really beautiful, right? And it was kind of a bad dude, and he was fighting my crew, and so and then she starts playing. She says, talking trash to my buddies, picking up stones to throw. You and that shit you're doing, it just ain't gonna flow. Temper like a heat is rising, make you stop, drop, and roll. About to unleash the lightning, cause I'm supernatural. And then she like starts sparking a little bit. I wrote a spell book for all my spells. I got lyrics for all of them. That was for heroism.
Nice.
That was fantastic. Cha's gonna like cast minor illusion and have just flames licking up around Fletch.
Yeah.
On fire!
It's so funny that you said you're going to do that. So Zed sees flames coming from out behind Fletch and casts Firebolt just because he's in the mood, and that was awesome. He's just vibing. So he's not really casting it at anyone, but hopefully he doesn't hit anyone. He's just kind of in the mood.
No, you can aim it away from somebody if you want.
Nice.
It would be more upward, kind of
So,
like a firework, let's say.
so if you even recall a particular quote from Kozik, do you know what vibing is?
Cha.
I forgot about vibe.
Oh, that was great.
So you all, you're in the mood. You started singing and dancing and adding like flair to everything that you're doing as you get closer and closer to this other music. And as you do so, its tone shifts. It's actually playing in line with you, as if getting on the same wavelength.
Cha's casting thaumaturgy to have like an echo effect going behind Fletch while they're singing, so that it's kind of reverberating out from everyone, like a sort of super one woman concert.
And as you continue to walk towards this music, it gets louder and louder as, distance. And you come to this little, sort of a clearing, and there are two entities, one of which seems to be, well, oddly enough, one seems human with this, like, long brown hair, this, like, at this point, probably, a sort of clean-cut beard, just facial hair. And he has this very nice-looking shirt and pants on, but they're just soiled and old, like he hasn't washed in ages. And around him are just bottles of something. And standing next to him is this woman with this fiery red hair, this long fiery red hair that goes all the way down, like basically down to her waist. And she has these like piercing blue eyes and this, fair skin. And the music is actually emanating from her. She has no instrument. It is her vocal. And as you guys approach, she stops and just kind of stares and sort of jumps back and prods the guy sleeping on the stump. And he just does this loud snoring. Just, oh, man. Hey, guys. What's going on, man? And his eyes look like bloodshot. Like he was napping good. And he's just kind of looking at everybody puzzled. And I'd say you're probably like 15 to 20 feet away from him. And even this far, oh boy, there's something ale or alcohol or wine, or it just permeates this whole area. Hey dudes, what's going on? Just partying? You guys want to party? You guys like to party or what?
Definitely. We wanted to join you.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Come on
We
in.
heard your music.
That's not my music, man. That's her music, man.
Well, we heard you harmonizing with our friend Fletch over here, who's also an accomplished musician and singer.
And also a professional baker.
I didn't hear any of that. I was, yeah. And he's like wiping his face, and just there's this dirt all over this guy. He's not the most hygienic person you've ever met. Well, Tina here's pretty good at just kind of doing her thing, man. Just having a good time. And he
So you're
picks
just
up a
chilling
bottle.
out in the woods?
Of course. I mean, may as well have fun what you're doing.
So your friend Tina, and what's your name?
Oh, man, I guess you could call me, I guess you can call me Elrune. That's what they call me over in Xarith, I guess, man.
Hey, we were just headed there.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Mr. Cha.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. I slapped him on the shoulder.
Well, I mean, it's right over there if you're heading that way. And he just kind of, he points in 3 different directions as he struggles to remain seated upright.
Do you guys play gigs there or something?
I mean, she does. I just do my thing. Swig.
Are you her manager?
Of course. I mean, every good musician needs a manager, right?
I guess so. I turn my attention to the lady and I introduce myself. I say, "Hello, dear lady. My name is Kozik Deepshaft, a dwarf, and I greet you."
She waves nervously from, hiding behind Elrune.
Yes.
I love hearing you say
Well,
that.
we're
Kozik.
travelers here.
Never
Go
gets
ahead.
old.
It's a dwarvish greeting. And what kind of instrument is she playing? Or is she just singing, or?
I don't really ask her the question. She's just really good at imitating
Sounded to me a
sounds.
bit like a pan flute, huh?
And you realize she does not have a pan flute. There is no instrument on her body at all.
Reach. Well, you seem
How
to
do
have
you
quite
make
a
those
talent.
sounds? How do you make the sounds without instruments?
She blinks a couple times and taps Elrune on the shoulder, and they look at each other, and he nods and she nods. And then she opens her mouth, and as she does so, you can hear the sound of a lute being played very harmoniously, as if she is singing, as if she is an instrument. But
What does
then
she
she
look like?
stops.
Again?
Sorry, what?
What does she look like again?
Like
Appearance?
fiery red hair, fair skin, piercing blue eyes.
I imagine she's wearing some
She's
sort of
human.
like white gown.
Yeah,
what
just
are
kind
her
of sort
clothes
of
look like?
pretty commoner looking clothing. Yeah, I expect it to be out in the woods kind of clothing. It's a witch burner.
You know, I've seen this in a bar before. It was a cool trick, but that was a kinku.
And she's definitely not that, man.
Yeah, no, I could tell. I mean, no feathers. Just very talented, I guess.
Something like that. And he takes like another swig.
Look like you fell down in the dirt, buddy. Are you doing okay out here?
Ah, nah, man, I'm living my best life out here. I mean, for somebody that doesn't really have a job or any drive to do any kind of work, I do pretty well.
Oh. Well, if I gave you a gold coin, would you put on a little performance, the two of you?
He shakes his head. I mean, she probably might, but I mean, I don't think this is necessarily a place that she feels that comfortable performing for money,
What do you
We
mean?
got
This
Xarith
is
for that.
what kind of place is this? What's Xarith?
Oh man, it's just a city full of people living their lives and working and doing their thing, and I don't really care.
Rich
Not too
people?
much. I mean, there's probably a couple of nobles there. Yeah, I mean, and he dusts himself off. You just see like clumps of dirt and like sticks falling off him. Not that I've really, done anything in that kind of area. I mean,
Is there a way to do like a nobility check?
Hmm.
noble to noble, or is
Probably an insight, because you're just kind of looking him over and seeing if he kind of holds the air of a noble house.
okay? Let's see.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he sure as hell don't look like it. If he's I mean, you would never catch a noble in his condition.
I think he could be a noble. Maybe he's fallen on hard times, and I'm about to ask him, and I kind of open my mouth and hold my finger up, and then go, probably not.
Well, for a small fee, I could guide you to Xarith without worries of any predators. I mean, I could do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that sounds like a good idea, and maybe the lady, is it Tina?
Yeah, that's Tina.
The lady Tina might favor us with a little ditty or something.
Yeah. You guys got any alcohol?
Hmm. I don't think I have any.
What, you don't have any alcohol? And I'm gonna point back at dude who just asked.
So, as you ask that question, he turns the bottle upside down and the last drips of it hit the ground.
Well, that was wasteful.
I didn't even know there was a couple drips in there, man.
That's why you got to tip it upside down over your mouth and you thump the bottom and then you lick the rim like a normal person.
I can definitely say I've done a lot of things with rims in my day.
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, we can certainly get you some alcohol once we get to the town, no?
He throws the bottle on the ground and it just shatters on like a root, and he stands up. Hold on. Okay. He stands up. Oh, wait. That was an 8. He doesn't stand up. So he stands up too quickly and he kind of gets dizzy and stumbles over.
Cha rushes forward to catch him, hold him up.
So even to you, Cha, the aroma of this person and the ale that comes off of him is almost choking.
Maybe we can get you some alcohol in a bath. Jeez, Tina, how do you put up with this?
What are you talking about? And he lifts an arm and sniffs it. And you can probably see like some flies coming out of his armpit or something.
Oh, dude, you're ripe.
I know,
Let us help you
man.
out.
Like the best kind of fruit. Yeah, nice and fermented, man.
Guess. Do they have any bathhouses in Xarith?
Yeah.
Well, all right then, lead the way.
I could go
It's
for a
Fuck,
good
if they don't
bath.
have baths in Xarith, we aren't going.
That's the spirit.
So you know, like in the Charlie Brown cartoon, that one character that just has that dust cloud wherever he goes. That's basically
Pigpen.
yeah.
Pigpen.
Yeah, you found Pigpen, but older. As far as you know.
Finally grew up.
Older.
All right. This way. And he points and then slowly points in the appropriate direction that you guys are already traveling. All right, let's go, Tina. We got some managing to do. Yeah, man.
Can I scrutinize them visually? Can I? They have a suspicious stink. All right, like A normal person shouldn't smell this bad, right? I really want to just like not an insight check, right? Just a visual scan. Is something off here physically?
Investigation could work.
Investigation. Right there.
Could I help
21.
with that? Oh no, you're cool.
So it's 21. Yes, normally humans shouldn't smell this bad, but all the clumps of dirt and his clothing hasn't been washed in ages, like, and this is the Feywild, so he probably fell in something that he hasn't really cleaned off or properly cleaned off in quite a while. Like, the stink is not natural to a human, but the stuff that he's probably gotten into is also not natural to a human.
Can I offer him some soap?
I mean, you could always offer it.
I'm gonna just take a little chunk out of it. I got this for you, and then leave it at that.
I think along similar lines as Fletch, that Cha's a little curious about the nature of these creatures, and I'm wondering if you could do an Arcana check to see if they are what they appear.
So a nature check?
I guess okay, sure, nature.
Mm.
How's Charles' anatomy and physiology knowledge?
Hmm.
So he's definitely human, just the worst kind of unbathed human that's lived in the forest drinking alcohol, probably rolling in dinosaur feces or falling in it and not cleaning it, or maybe being swallowed whole and spit up but still not cleaning it, you know, that kind of thing. Tina, on the other hand, it's not quite enough, but something ain't right about her, especially considering her ability to mimic musical instruments without just vocally. And you know, this is a step beyond, you know, police academy kind of mimicry.
Okay.
Tina, what's the deal with your manager here? Seems like he hasn't cleaned up for a while.
She just shakes her head and then shrugs.
Hmm. Okay, well, lead the way, Elrune.
All right, let's go party with the party, whoever you are. Let's go, man.
Hey, I was thinking about this. Speaking of which, you guys, I was thinking we could be called the Nameless Ones, since we refuse to come up with a name.
That's a terrible name.
Ah,
Can't say I like it very much.
Man, you guys look like you've fallen on some hard times. Maybe you should call yourselves the Fallen. DM stares at camera.
That's worse than his suggestion.
you say to no one. God, why can't we come up with a name? Something.
Well, who's
Alright.
your captain?
And then she's gonna look to Zed.
Close it.
My captain was Captain Thatcher.
No, I mean of the. Oh wow, that's kind of Captain Thatcher, Captain Fletcher. I mean a lot of Captain Churs out there, huh? But I mean of the little group.
By and large, we're letting Kozik make a lot of these decisions.
Does have a leadery quality.
Who's that?
That is Elrond.
Dude, I think I saw that guy at the plaza like last
You,
week.
There's no way he stinks that bad.
Oh,
Just
this
imagine
guy's
the
a snack.
disheveled version of him. It was another player who's played in my games before. So
Oh,
he
maybe I did see that guy at the plaza last week then.
nah, guaranteed.
What about
So
the
you
cozy six?
the cozy.
Hey, that's a good one.
So he
Max and the
leads you through the forest,
entourages.
with relative ease, and as you do so, the temperature, just the ambient temperature, starts to drop a little bit. The winds have started to die down. I can stop that, and you guys find yourself on the precipice of this pretty sizable city, suspended amongst the stone of the mountains. Hold on. Gotta switch a scene in the hopes that everybody actually switches. And so sort of imagine that this is sort of butted up against a mountainside as opposed to, just suspended on the rock. But you get the gist of it.
All I see is black.
Really, you're having that same issue as... Oh, okay, hold on.
Me
I've
too.
rarely had that issue though. What it is.
Because it's a...
Yeah, same here.
One sec.
Is the map just big and we have vision?
No, it's the lighting thing I had to do. I have to remember... Where is it? Gold illumination. How about
Gold
now?
Force 5, Max Overdrive.
Do you see it now?
No.
No.
What?
Maximum Overdrive? You mean that cheesy 1980s Stephen King movie?
Ability and fog exploration.
Classic.
It's a movie?
Maximum Overdrive? Oh yeah. It's about an alien force that takes over all the mechanical devices on
Why does
Earth.
it have the
and
Green
starts-
Goblin on the front?
Oh, because that was the
My truck that carries toys or
on that.
whatever.
That's right. It was on the front of the truck. Maximum Overdrive.
Off. Anything pop up now?
I can see it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. It's one of the map settings. Okay.
I see a sparkling diagonal kind of line. Is that just my screen or?
Maybe refresh?
I mean, it's over the picture. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
But everybody can see it, right?
Yep.
All right. So, you are pretty much on the edge of this pretty sizable city. There's like, it seems almost like a tier system. There's, maybe some like residents on, like a lower level, and then maybe some more scattered buildings, like on this like second tier, like over here. And then there's this like very large, almost seems like this huge like castle-esque formation, though it's aesthetically not a castle, but you'd probably ascertain if there were nobles or some kind of ruling house, it would probably be up there. Ping it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I gotta-
man, right there.
I gotta start hitting the sack, everybody.
Yeah, this is the wrap-up point of you guys getting to the edge of Xarith.
I definitely want to go talk to some nobles when I get a chance.
Naturally.
Oh, me too.
We'll go check them out.
Thanks, everybody. That was awesome.
Right on.
Indeed.
Yeah, that was
Cool
fun.
down
Thanks for DMing.
post
Thanks for playing.
victory, post drama and intensity session.
I gotta find all my craftsmen to make all my special little trinkets.
Trinkets
Dude,
and
Fletch,
baubles.
that
Paid
that
for
song
blood.
was fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah, well done.
And the like hallmark moment with every single member of your crew.
I had to write down every
Heart-wrenching.
name, and they each get a personal goodbye.
Except the one that you were like, stealing.
Yeah, I don't really like it. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thank you.
Oh, show.
All right.
Thanks for showing up a little
Yeah.
early and having the
Yeah.
conversation.
Bye. Yeah.
I'm very, very tired.
Oh, for
Well, I've
real.
been so super quiet. Sorry.
Not like you just got off of work or something.
I've been at work since like noon. It's 2 a.m.
Oh my fucking god. Go to bed.
Monday, Tuesdays, and now Thursdays are my long days where I work both jobs.
Ah, more working.
Pays the bills, right?
Yep,
least
that's what
part
I
of it.
tell myself. My second job is just for gas money and extra stuff. I don't actually need it. It just helps me catch things up faster.
Mm-hmm.
I know the
Got it.
song.
The one I put in chat,
Yeah.
Novele Bianche.
This is crazy. I told you, I pretend to be a musician in roleplay on GTA, and there's like a little nonprofit that has some chords that are just like this.
So that is it means white clouds in Italian. In the song is his musical representation of freedom, floating, and grace.
So at this point, we have a
Very cool.
little post game chit chat
The lyrics to it,
podcast, maybe.
I do not like, but the
No?
instrumental
So we just kinda hang
is
out.
one of the best instrumental compositions, in my opinion. But the lyrics in Italian, they sound really pretty. If you translate them, they're dumb,
Why is this still playing?
really dumb.
Stop.
They
Stop
don't
playing.
work
There
in
we go.
translation.
Works in translation oftentimes get lost like that.
Yeah. So in Italian, it's pretty, but I prefer it without the lyrics.
So yeah, we got a lot of stuff handled this session. Huzzah. And you guys got to meet Elrin. I know I couldn't do the justice to the character that he had, but it's been years since he's played it, so it's just like, I gotta try and get a close approximation of Elrin. Elrin's basically a party animal, if you couldn't already ascertain that.
Mm-hmm. Did anybody touch that girl to make sure she's not an illusion? Because you can do minor illusion for sounds, and I was like, she could be just using this with spell work. And then I took it a step further, and I was like, what if she's an illusion? Anybody touch her?
Nope.
That's why I was trying to scrutinize. I was like, are they real people?
We'll just
That's
get Cha to do that. It's like, hey, go grab that girl. He's like, okay. Like, not me.
Well, you scrutinized him.
Yeah, that's true. Mostly because I was thinking, I know there's like certain like stinky like garbage monsters, right? Like
Garbage
plant-based,
monsters.
right? And I was like, what if this is an illusion over him and we're being lured so that we could be eaten? Right? So I know he's at least safe. Or I feel confident about it anyway.
Yeah, the woman that can sing like an instrument but doesn't say a word.
She's just a little
Interesting.
unusual.
Well, she has disguised self and she's a Kenku in hiding.
mimics all around, if you will.
Oh.
Everywhere. Well, all right. I guess I'll sign out too then.
Yep.
And
Roger that.
yeah, good time. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Oh, show.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
See you later.
All right. I just need a sec to wrap up the stream.
Okay.
All right.
I don't even say bye. I just shut mine off. Ow. I'm rude.
Well, I mean, I also put it on YouTube, so I try to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. So that was The Fallen, session 28. New beginnings. So, with that, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here so I can get this video downloaded and sent on over to the YouTubes. For those interested parties. We do this every Tuesday from about 7:30. I'm just being real. 7:30 to about 10:30. We went over a little bit because we started a little bit late, but we had to have a pregame, as it were. I will be back at it and streaming. Today is Tuesday, so I'll be back Wednesday at about 6 p.m. Pacific is when I try to get things started. And I'll probably be playing some more Diablo because I gotta get my fix, man. Hopefully soon I'll be playing some Wild Mirth. Hopefully soon. Once I'm over my Diablo kick. But either way, I appreciate you guys being here and watching. If y'all's on the YouTubes, say hello or a follow or whatever it is. It doesn't hurt. But yeah. Appreciate y'all's being here. Appreciate y'all's watching. And without further ado, I shall meet you again soon. Until next time, friends. Farewell.